I wanted to say real quick, speaking of when we were talking about PAX, stuff like that, when I was looking around at the booths in the morning before the show, I walked by the Udon booth, and I was just looking at the books that they had. And one that I looked at forever ago was they released this, I don't know if you can see that, History of Sonic.
Look at that. In a big ring.
Yeah, I saw this book, came out a long time ago, and I heard it was about a lot of early Sega stuff, which is always interesting to me. But because it was a Sonic, to be totally honest, because it was a Sonic-themed book, I never bought it because Sonic is tainted.
So you're saying there's no later chapters that deal with the anthropomorphized versions of Sonic?
That was my fear, so I didn't buy it.
Oh, okay.
Sonic at this point is gone. So I never got it. But I heard parts of it were interesting. I don't know, whatever. So I'm looking at all the books at the Udon booth, and the guy there recognized me and was like, "Hey," and he pointed to the Sonic book, and he was like, "Hey, if I gave that to you, would you give your thoughts on it? Like, would you talk about, maybe on the podcast or something?" I was like, "Oh, I didn't know they knew who I was." So I was like, "Yeah, I'll give you my thoughts. Yeah, sure." And he's like, "Okay, go ahead, take it." All right, cool. So I did, and I actually have read a bunch of it at this point, and I told him I would be 100% honest. This book is really cool, and I really want to recommend it to anybody who's interested in like video game like business stuff, because it's actually not about like Sonic and his friends are this. Here's artwork of Amy Rose or anything like that. It's actually about the beginnings of Sega and how they were dying to have their Mario. And there's a whole bunch of embarrassing pages on how they tried to make Alex Kidd. Some people out there know who that is and a lot don't. Alex Kidd was a game they were trying to make on Sega Master System and Genesis, whatever. They were like, that to us in America, that was such a nothing game. But within Sega, they were like, why isn't this the new Mario? What the fuck? They were like freaking out.
Yeah, a lot of this is on like the company and the console.
Yeah, and so it's really interesting talking about how they had to really think, and then they came up with a really fast rabbit, which then turned into a hedgehog. But it was a hedgehog who had a rock band and was dating a girl named Madonna. Yeah. And how they went into, the president of Sega got into friction with Yuji Naka about he should not have a human girlfriend because that's Uki. Anyway, it's really interesting. It's all kinds of drama leading up to them getting it out. And I didn't know this. This is another interesting thing. Sonic 3, where Sonic and Knuckles came from, there was never a plan to do Sonic 3 and then Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic 3 was a game that had a separate Knuckles component to it, and it was a whole big expansive thing. And they couldn't finish the game. They had a McDonald's toy tie-in that was set for February of 93 or 94, I don't remember. And they could not finish the Genesis game by that point. So they went, fuck, we just gotta jettison the last half of it. And so they did. They just ended production then and there to get it out by the McDonald's toy tie-in.
Wow.
So Sonic 3 came out, and then 8 months later, oh yeah, Sonic and Knuckles. And you can plug your Sonic 3 cart into it to play as Knuckles in all these levels. Well, that was always within the game.
They just put out an early revision.
An early part of it. And then, this connector cartridge where you could suddenly play as it, as you always should have. And I had no idea. And it actually hurt the sale. Which, I don't know if you went through this, but I remember when I was a kid, seeing Sonic and Knuckles in the paper, like, oh yeah, it comes out Tuesday. And I was like, what the hell? Like, where did that... I didn't say what the hell as a kid.
I didn't play it. I had, like, 1 and 2. Yeah. And then I think I was, like, checked out by that.
I was on it for 2.
Really?
Like, I was counting down the days. And then 3, I was counting down the days. And then when Sonic and Knuckles was in the paper, like, comes out Tuesday, I didn't even know that was coming out. And they talk about that in there, that it was an afterthought.
Wow.
There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. The book is really interesting. The only thing I would say I'm whatever on the book is that they really don't sugarcoat the beginnings of Sega, but they do sugarcoat kind of the later, like Sonic 2006. They really handle it gingerly in here, just like, a different take on Sonic. It's like, let's call it what it is.
People like these games.
Yeah. So that's the only thing that I think is a little weak.
I mean,
otherwise, that book is really cool.
You're definitely, just flipping through, I'm impressed because it's full color and there's like images on every page.
Yeah.
A lot of cool concept art and stuff too. But if you're not a Sonic fan, I mean, it's called Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
But it's all Sonics it's cool.
Anyway, I thought it was pretty interesting. So if you're so inclined for that kind of thing, check it out.
This character is, though, so beloved by a lot of people, and then also very tarnished by a lot of people.
Oh yeah,
or people with a very large voice, I should say.
But anyway, so there you have it. Thank you, Udon, for that. I was surprised.
Cool.
I was very surprised by that.
They make all the Street Fighter and Darkstalkers comic and like art books and stuff like that. Mariel's done a lot of stuff. Some art for them, right?
I don't know.
Didn't she try to contribute to?
Maybe, yeah. I'm not
sure. Their Darkstalkers books, I thought. Yeah. Anyway, I always liked Udon stuff.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of their old comics too.